नेट नहीं काम कर रहा है क्या जी? ठीक है ठीक है. हेलो हेलो हेलो. Okay, let them join. So, Aarti, have you read sociology before? No. Any preliminary reading? क्या पढ़ा है? NCERT पढ़ी है 12th क्लास की. और बस. अंजुल? आपका NCERT ओनली. ओके. सो थोड़ा सा इन लोगों को जो है स्टार्टिंग में लेट मी टेल यू. यूजुअली व्हेन यू आर जॉइनिंग अ कोचिंग क्लास you must do first sufficient self study and then join the coaching classes. But generally I have found that people come very raw and they have never studied sociology before, so you might find some difficulty initially. I'm just writing down name of a few books and those books you should read. First paper, Sociology, Themes and Perspective by Haralambous and Heald. Right? There are two editions of this book. One is Haralambous and Heald and second is Haralambous and Holborn. Haralambous and Holborn, right? Now this is definitely a more comprehensive book, but it is very voluminous. It is comprehensive but very voluminous. So what you should do, in fact you should purchase both the books. This book would be acting as a textbook and this book would be acting as a reference book, right? So since you are new, so you try to study from page to page. So this book is good for that. But there are many things which are not in these books, so that we have to read from this book. From now onwards, stop reading any study material first, including nice IS study material. Right? You should always start with the standard books. You should always start with the standard books. And when you are reading the standard book and you are facing certain difficulty in understanding, then you should refer to some other book. Maybe study material, maybe IGNU material, maybe anything else. So a particular topic you have to study from this book. In case you are finding difficulty, you are not able to understand, though it should not be, then you can refer to any book you want. From wherever you are comfortable, you can read from that, right? Second book is Social Research by Soterios Sarantakos. Soterios Sarantakos. Right? Now we have created a WhatsApp group, so we are expecting that you will just open up WhatsApp on your mobile and then ask him to add you, right? And there will be also sending you the PDF of the books whatever is available with us. So this book is costly, first 100 pages. In fact, all the book is important, but first 100 pages you have to read literally, right? It will at least create interest in you. You will be finding difficulty, but yes, anything that you are reading, you are bound to face certain difficulty, right? Third book, that is Capitalism and Modern Social Theory by Anthony Giddens. Anthony Giddens, right? This is a book on three thinkers, Marx, Emile Durkheim and Max Weber, right? Language is difficult, so you might feel uncomfortable with the book. So if it is posing a lot of discomfort to you, then you can go for any other book, right? So these are the books that are in the first paper. The key is you have to start anything with the standard books, because any study material is nothing but cut paste. So many times what happens, the paragraphs that are incorporated in the study material are out of context. So you really are not able to understand what they want to convey, right? When there is a book, the book is written with the purpose of making you understand the things. Study material are made to sell only, right? जैसे आप एडमिशन लेते हो ना, आप कहते हो सर मैंने तो 51,000 रुपये दिए, स्टडी मटेरियल भी नहीं दोगे तो हम लोग भी 1,000 रुपये खर्च कर देते हैं, ठीक है, लो स्टडी मटेरियल, because in the beginning you are more concerned about commerce rather than the real approach, right? So real approach would not conform to the commercial approach, so you have to differentiate between the two. In second paper, first book, Modernization of Indian Tradition, Modernization of Indian Tradition by Yogendra Singh or Y Singh, sorry, S-I-N-G-H, right? Second is Indian Sociology, Indian Sociology, Social Conditioning and Emerging Concerns by Y Singh again. Maybe this book is not available in the market, so we have to rely on the PDF that I will be giving you. Third is Caste, its 20th century avatar, edited by M.N. Srinivas, right? This is the easiest book that you will be coming across, right? Fourth is Social Movements in Modern India by Ghanshyam Shah, by Ghanshyam Shah. This book you have to read. Then there are host of books. There are many books. In second paper, one book or two book is not sufficient. There are many books. So you have to read many. And in second paper, you can rely on our study material also, because that is compilation. So by that time, you will be at least trained enough to grow through such ready-made study material. But for first paper, you have to read standard books first and then only to switch over to any other book. Right? This is the book right now that we are telling. Whenever I will be teaching from many books. So at that time, I will be telling you what are the books that I am referring to while teaching it, and whether that is in our study material or not. So that would be told, right? The most difficult topic is what we are going to start today, sociology as science, right? It's a really difficult topic because you won't get study material at any one place, right? It's very highly abstracted concept. So you will be facing a lot of difficulty there, but no problem, I am here, so we can together deal with those problems, right? As far as your approach would be in the study, first, generally, what happens when people start reading, the first their concern is about, sir, answer कैसे लिखें? ठीक है, ABCD पता नहीं, पैराग्राफ कैसे लिखें? So initially, will not be worrying about the answer, will be more worrying about the conceptual clarification, right? And in rough, whenever we are reading a concept, whatever we are understanding, we'll try to express that in our own language, in the rough, which we will discard later on. Right? Because initially there would be many misconceptions, right? So just for the habit's sake, suppose you are reading a paragraph in the book, go through the book, whatever you have understood from that. Don't read like novel or story book. A paragraph has to be read properly. Try first maximum to understand it, right? If you are facing difficulty, when you are coming across certain terms and terminologies, do try to clarify it. You should first try to clarify yourself by exploring on internet and the books and dictionaries, etc. If you fail to do that within certain time frame, the next day when you are coming here, you should ask me that, sir, what exactly is the meaning? But definitely first you try yourself. Because if you directly come to me, then it will be difficult for you to hold on the concept. So first try yourself, and once you have done sufficient enough, and even after that you are not able to understand, then I am here. But you have to first try yourself. See, I am not going to appear in the examination, you are going to appear in the examination. So you have to follow a process, right? There is a proper process of learning. If you don't follow the process, you are going to face difficulty. और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि बहुत ज़्यादा टॉपर्स की बातों में मत आएं. ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है कि जब हम सक्सेसफुल हो जाते हैं ना, तो हम अपना स्ट्रगल भूल जाते हैं. ठीक है, और उसके बाद कहना शुरू करते हैं, यार हमने ये बुक पढ़ा था तो उससे तो कुछ हुआ नहीं, वो बुक तो पढ़ा था कुछ हुआ नहीं, फिर मैंने जो है ये टॉपर का नोट्स पढ़ा तो हो गया. तो पहले जो पढ़ा था, फॉर दैट यू आर नॉट गिविंग एनी इंपॉर्टेंस, राइट? सो डोंट बिलीव completely in the toppers. In fact, because lack of specialized knowledge, professional expertise, they are not teachers, so they have not dealt with many students, right? So they just try to express their experience, and everybody is unique. Every person is unique. So what approach works for me need not necessarily work for you also, right? So these things you have to take care of. We are here in this field for almost 25 years, right? Yes, it is true that this is market, and in this market there are scrupulous element, there are unscrupulous element. There are many teachers who have vested interests, they have only commercial interests, they may misguide you, right? So we have to identify who is misguiding you and who is really guiding you. बहुत सारे लोग मिलेंगे, बोलते अरे मेरा नोट्स पढ़ लो हो जाएगा, और मेरा एक लेक्चर ही स्टार्ट होता है कि मेरे को गॉड मानोगे तो कभी नहीं होगा, राइट? इफ यू फॉलो एग्जैक्टली मी and you completely rely on me, don't do any self exploration, then failure is 100% sure. You cannot be successful. So वो जो कहते हैं ना कि मेरे यहाँ 50,000 रुपए दे दो और तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा, उनको थोड़ा अवॉइड किया करो, ठीक है? बातें बना, आजकल तो YouTube आ गया है तो वैसे ही बात बनाने का स्कोप बढ़ गया है, ठीक है? So just try to protect yourself from such misguided recommendations, right? Nothing is easy and nothing is difficult. Things are difficult, but if we work together, if we do hard work, we play well, then we'll make the things easy and we'll come in the race. My duty is, my contribution would be to take you into the race. But you have to win the race yourself, right? Okay. So this is the brief things. Yes, one thing that I was saying, that first thing that would be very important, conceptual clarity. That is the most important thing, that whenever you are coming across certain concept, certain terms, what exactly is its meaning in sociology, that you have to be very clear about that. Right? Secondly, as I said, try to express the concepts that you have understood in your own language in rough, right? So expressing concepts in your language, right? Never ever sit to study with only book. You should have book. Along with that book, you should have a copy, rough, and that again a pen and a pencil. Whatever is you are considering comfortable with. With pencil, it is there that if you are writing something and you are feeling that, oh, I have done the mistake, you can erase it and you can write it, right? But you have to do that, right? This is in rough work. Third is content enhancement. Whenever you are dealing with certain issue, you have to compile information along diverse component, diverse dimension on that issue, right? What are the diverse dimension? Definitely we will be dealing in the class, so gradually you will come to know, okay, these are the things, but you have to improvise also. When you are reading newspaper, when you are reading a magazine, even if you are watching a movie, even if you are watching a television news, a debate, right? Try to pick up the things which are sociologically relevant, right? And after that, once you are sufficiently prepared, right? Sufficiently, if you have gone through a particular topic twice and thrice, then you prepare the brief synoptical notes. What is brief synoptical notes? That also, you don't have to copy the book. Rather, you have to arrange the concepts in cause and effect relationship or in a flow chart, right? So what is your educational background? BS computer science. So science background is there. So as you have the approach in science, try to incorporate that approach here. What is your background? BSc physics honors. And what is? Mechanical. So we all are from science background. Your teacher is also from science background. So we'll use that information and knowledge that we have already, right? So we have to write the answer very precisely. लोग जनरली ऐसे कहते हैं कि मेरी लैंग्वेज ठीक नहीं है. Will I be able to write a proper answer in social sciences? Now social sciences, in social sciences also the word is science, right? So what is the difference between physics, chemistry, mechanical engineering, computer science and this social sciences? That they are outrightly science. And when you are reading about the human behavior, humanities paper, social sciences that you are saying, there are certain difficulty, but you are also trying to make it scientific, right? So we have to answer the things in very scientific way. The only thing that has to be kept in mind that whenever we are writing something, we have to substantiate that. Don't write superficially, like there is what, why, how, right? Generally people write this, what. And when you write only what, answer would appear superficial. Why and how. So mechanism is very important, and thereafter you have to substantiate. Substantiate by referring to a thinker, a sociologist who has certain contribution, certain case studies, right? Even certain events of current event that is sociologically relevant, means it has impact on the larger canvas of the society. It has impact on the larger canvas of the society, right? So those things you can do. Asutosh, suno. ये 27 जून वाले बैच का जो बाकी बच्चे हैं ऑनलाइन, उनको ऐड किए हो इसमें? कर दो ऐड, हाँ कर देना सबको ऐड। अरे ऐड कर दो ना, देख के इस पे के कौन कौन से बच्चे हैं 27 जून में, उसको ऐड कर दो। मैसेज करने की क्या जरूरत है? उधर देखो कौन कौन है, नोट करो, इधर भी ऐड कर दो, दोनों जगह तो एक ही चीज है, राइट? सो दिस इज द वे we'll do. Okay. So let us start now our course seriously. So we have been here to study sociology, right? Sociology. What is sociology? शिवम ग्लास दो एक यहाँ पे। व्हाट इज सोशियोलॉजी? साइंटिफिक स्टडी ऑफ सोसाइटी। एक ग्लास दो, ग्लास पीने के लिए पानी। साइंटिफिक स्टडी ऑफ सोसाइटी, राइट? Before that we can write simply, sociology is a study of society. Sociology is a study of society, right? The question is, this sociology term was coined in 1838 by Auguste Comte. Auguste Comte is a person who coined this term, this discipline, sociology, in 1838, right? In fact, earlier in 1822, he conceptualized a discipline that would study society, and he named it social physics. Social physics, right? Before this particular discipline, sociology came into existence, we had mathematics, astronomy, physics, chemistry, biology, then economics, polity, psychology. These were the disciplines which had already come into existence, right? And all these disciplines, they studied different facets of the reality. For example, when you say, what is mathematics? So mathematics is a study of numbers, right? It's a study of numerics. When you say astronomy, so what is astronomy? Astronomy is the study of the heavenly bodies, right? The cosmic events, the cosmic bodies. What is physics? Physics is the study of forces of nature. We have mechanical forces, we have electrical forces, we have magnetic forces, we have gravitational forces. So there are different forces which are already existing in the nature. So that is being studied by physics. Then we have chemistry. It is a study about the composition and behavior of matters. Composition and behavior of matters. Then we talk about biology, in which we have two segments, zoology and botany. So zoology studies animal or organism, and botany studies the plants. Then we come to economics. Economics is the study of production and distribution of commodities, material commodities, right? Then we come to polity. Polity is said to be the study of state, right? Governance, etc. Then we have this psychology, and psychology is mainly the study of personality of individual or personality organization of an individual, right? So when you talk about economics, when you talk about this polity, when you talk about psychology, they are also studying different dimensions of human behavior. Now when you say who produces, human being produces. Who distributes, human being distributes. Who consumes, human being consumes. Who governs, human being governs, right? Who are governed, human beings are governed. Who consists personality, human beings have the personality. Now personality is there even among the animals, but animals' personality is mainly hereditarily determined. They are hereditarily determined. You won't see a lion eating grass, right? And you won't see a cheetal eating some non-veg item or killing somebody, right? They would always eat grass. So their behavior has not changed over tens of thousands of, or you can say lakhs of years, because evolution is a very slow process. But human behavior is a rapidly changing entity, right? And we all have certain personality, so that we study. After that, this new discipline was conceptualized. This new discipline was conceptualized. It talks about the study of society. It talks about the study of society. Now, society also consists of individual. Our political system is part of the same society. Economics is part of the same society. And we as an individual are also part of the same society, right? So generally, in the earlier phase, people were not able to, people means intellectuals were not able to even conceptualize that there can be a discipline that is different from psychology, polity, or economy that would be studying the human behavior, right? But anyhow, due to one reason or the other, due to their understanding of the society, this person, Auguste Comte, he conceptualized a new discipline. He conceptualized a new discipline, and that discipline he called as social physics, right? So in 19th century, a new discipline was conceived by, at the earliest, Saint-Simon, C.H. Saint-Simon, Claude Henry Saint-Simon, who was the teacher of Auguste Comte. Right? Nothing happens in one go. Right? Things generally move slowly. Right? C.H. Saint-Simon. S-A-I-N-T Saint, S-I-M-O-N. Saint-Simon. Right? Briefly, he is called as Saint-Simon. But formally, now Saint-Simon had informally conceptualized, he has not formalized the discipline. Right? In fact, he was the person who coined the term industrial society. The term industrial society was coined by Saint-Simon. So, even in his writing, the idea of a new discipline exists. The idea of a new discipline exists, but he did not formalize it. He did not formally announce that there can be a discipline which is distinct from biology, psychology, economics and polity. Right? It was Auguste Comte who formally announced existence of a discipline that is distinct from biology, economics, psychology and polity. And that discipline he called as social physics. Right? In 1822. Right? Why social physics? Because 19th century is known for basically industrialization of Europe. When we are studying about European history, then before modernity, Europe was feudal agrarian. Right? Monarchical system was there, feudal agrarian system was there. And in 18th century itself, we will be reading about Renaissance, we will be reading about Enlightenment, etc. And because of that, a scientific ethos came into existence. So basically, when we read about the history of Europe between 14th century and 18th century, we will find that the discipline which got maximum success was physics. Means in the area of physics, there was enormous development, paradigmatic, revolutionary development in physics. It all started with the Kepler's ideas of heliocentric, right? Then further Newton in 16th, 17th century and so on. And it is the development of physics that led us or ushered us into the industrial stage that is called large scale production. Industrialization means what? There are many facets of industrialization. One thing is that machine is the major producer. Technology is developed and these technological machines are driven by fossil fuels. Right? We were able to create large machines, and when we are able to create large machines, they are efficient, and then we do it as a large scale production. So these are the features of the industrial society. Right? And this whole industrialization of Europe was possible because of a particular methodological approach in the study. Particular method of study. Right? And that method of study got maximum success, you can say, had a utilitarian value, were of utility to human society and human being, and that was physics. Right? Whenever there is a great development or revolutionary development in a particular discipline, it inspires other intellectuals concerned about other facets of our life too. Right? So if physics is developing considerably, remarkable development is taking place in physics, then these developments are bound to inspire social thinkers or intellectuals of other disciplines, right? So this was the reason that Auguste Comte called it social physics. What exactly is the meaning of this? Social means society. It is talking about the subject matter of study. And physics is mainly referring to method of study. Physics is not about study of forces here. Physics means here the method that was used in the physics and which attained great success. Right? And this method, we call it as science. We call it as science or scientific method. What exactly is science or scientific method? We'll come to know about that. We'll try to dispel many of the conception that is in your mind about science. That we'll try to dispel. That we'll try to dispel. Right? What's your name? Surabhi Jain. Oh, you are very late. Okay. Are you getting it? So this is, we will see what exactly is the meaning of science, what we had studied earlier about science, and what exactly is the meaning that we have to know in the context of sociology. There is great difference between them, so we'll see about that. So he named it social physics, right? But later on, what happened? There was a Norwegian, I'm just forgetting to which country he belonged. So there was a philosopher called Quetelet. Quetelet was a philosopher, right? And Quetelet unknowingly, in one of his paper, he used the term social physics. Quetelet was a philosopher. We have to see whether it was Danish philosopher or Norwegian. It's just I'm missing. Right. He was not aware that in 1822 Auguste Comte has written a paper where he has mentioned a new discipline, and that is social physics. Right? So in 1830s, Quetelet also wrote a paper, and in that paper he also mentioned about a new discipline, and that is called as social physics. So unknowingly you can write down, without being aware of, Auguste Comte using the word social physics in 1822 in his paper Quetelet also used this term social physics for a new discipline, full stop, annoyed by this annoyed by this, Comte changed the name from social physics to sociology in 1838. Sociology in 1838. Right? So it is just about the history, how things are going on. I am recapitulating. There existed subjects like mathematics, astronomy, physics, chemistry, biology since long. Then in 18th century, economics emerged, polity was already existing. Then we had this psychology. So they were the existing discipline, and they were being clearly acknowledged that they talk about different dimensions, different subject matter. When you say discipline, whenever you talk about a discipline, you have to prescribe, you have to describe what are you going to study in it. So when you are conceptualizing that X is a new discipline, then you have to be very clear what are you going to study into it. Right? So there was clarification about polity, economy and psychology. Other than those subject matter, whatever these disciplines they study, a new discipline was conceived that claimed to study something different from what was being studied in these disciplines. Right? And to study that, the approach of physics, that means scientific approach, was applied, and that's why it was named as social physics. Right? So the first name of this discipline, sociology, was social physics. Without being aware, Quetelet used the term that annoyed Auguste Comte, and then Auguste Comte changed the name itself of this discipline and called it sociology. Right? This sociology is made up of two words: Latin socius and Greek logos. Latin socius, Greek logos. Right? Socius meaning companion. Socius meaning companion, which you can describe as social group. Social group. Right? Logos, simply study of. So study of companion or study of social group. Right? Which we also term as society. Study of society. This was the meaning of the term sociology. This was the meaning of the term sociology. Right? The question is, what do we mean by society? What do we mean by social group? What is the relevance of companion? And more appropriately, how is it different from individual? just from the common sense understanding, without considering that you have any knowledge of sociology, I am asking a few questions, right? What do you think society is? Society is a group of people. Society is a group of people. So right now, we are here, a few people. Is it a social group?
It's a combination of religion and kind of.
Okay, so you are making things more complex. She said rightly, we have to start from simple to complex. Right? We will always move our thought from simple to complex. From most general to specific. Or you can say a macro understanding of the things gradually into micro understanding. If we do the reverse, it's not that we will not understand the things, but it will become very difficult to understand. And unnecessarily you will complicate your approach and your analysis of the subject matter. So rightly she said, society means group of people or social group, right? What is social group?
If somebody has same interest,
Somebody has
same
same interest. Okay, so I am interested in earning money, right? I, Praveen Kishore, staying in Delhi, and Mr. X in New York is also interested in earning money. We have same interest. Interest is same. Do we constitute a social group? So what did you learn from it? Whatever I said, what did you learn from it?
different places.
You learned that there was loophole in your knowledge. You said social group as people having common interest, but you not critically scrutinize your understanding of the things. आपने अपने ही अंडरस्टैंडिंग को क्रिटिकली स्क्रूटिनाइज नहीं किया. अगर किया होता by invoking such examples, then you would have definitely some doubt in your mind about what exactly is social group. As you said, I am not saying anything extra. I simply asked a question, you gave the answer, and the answer said people having common interest would be constituting a social group. Right? So I just figured out certain example. I said Praveen Kishore in India, Mr. X in New York. Both are interested in earning money. Both are interested in marriage. Both are interested in religion. So do these two people constitute a social group? And your answer was no. That means this you must take it as your approach of study. Whenever you are defining something, try to get certain example which will justify your description, and even certain examples that will oppose your description. That will oppose your description. So example that I invoked, I sought, it is opposing, it is contradicting your understanding of the very concept of social group. Right? Right now, as I said, I had asked this question that we all are here. Do we constitute a social group?
Like we all have the same interest in sociology.
So that means we are social group.
Might be or not.
Just now I said, being only having common interest would not make us a member of a group.
We do not constitute a social group, but we came from the kind of same social group. I think society can be.
So you are from
I'm from there.
Meerut. You are from
After.
Agra, Lucknow. Do you all have the same social background? So how did you say that you have same social background? ऐसा होता तो बिहारी मराठी का लड़ाई होता, बंगाली पंजाबी का लड़ाई होता, हैं? दिल्ली वाले और मेरठ की लड़ाई होती? नहीं होती ना? Right? So this is not social group. This is called simply collectivities, aggregates. Today, we constitute merely a collectivity, merely a aggregate. जैसे सड़क किनारे वो पत्थर रखे रहते ना एग्रीगेट, वहीं से वर्ड आया है एग्रीगेट. जब रोड बनता है ना वो छोटे छोटे टुकड़े होते हैं उनको एग्रीगेट कहते हैं. राइट? दे आर देयर बट दे डोंट शेयर एनी रिलेशनशिप अमंग themselves. So right now also we have common interest. We have certain common interest. You have at least common interest. My interest is earning. Your interest is getting knowledge of sociology. But that would not constitute you people as a group. But 1 month from now, 1 month from now, definitely you will be interacting with each other, and then you will be constituting to certain extent a social group. So what difference it makes today and 30 days from now? Interaction. It's not merely interaction. We start sharing our interests and concerns. We start getting a new identity. बच्चे थे ना, बच्चे स्कूल जाते थे, रिक्शे में जाते थे. अब तो बस चलती है, हमारे ज़माने में रिक्शा चलती थी. और आपके स्कूल का रिक्शा जा रहा है, दूसरे स्कूल का रिक्शा आ रहा है. तो एक स्कूल का बच्चा दूसरे को कहता था नौकर, और दूसरे स्कूल का बच्चा पहले को कहता था नौकर. मुझे अभी भी याद है कि मैं एक वाणी प्रभा स्कूल में पढ़ा करता था. बच्चा में आई थिंक फर्स्ट और सेकंड, थर्ड, फर्स्ट सेकंड आई हैव नॉट स्टडीड एट ऑल. राइट? सो फॉर 2 years आई वॉज इन बेड रेस्ट. So I didn't have the formal education in first and second. So directly I had been admitted into third class. तो रिक्शा से हम लोग जाते थे, उधर से वो कमला नेहरू एक स्कूल था. तो हम स्टेटमेंट देते थे, वाणी प्रभा कमल का फूल, कमला नेहरू उसका कुछ नौकर वोकर कहते थे, मुझे याद एग्जैक्टली नहीं आ रहा है. मतलब वी वांटेड टू सो देम डाउन एंड जस्ट अगेंस्ट us, they were also expressing their views. Right? In the same way, when you go out of this class, there are many teachers who are teaching sociology. And you will find, even when you are mature, when you are meeting your fellow students who are studying in other institute, you will have a feeling of they against them. अरे ये वाजीरा में पढ़ता है, अरे ये एक्स में पढ़ता है, ये वाई में पढ़ता है. राइट? दैट मीन्स व्हाट? यू आर गेटिंग एन आइडेंटिटी. इट्स नॉट अबाउट कॉमन इंटरेस्ट. रादर, when you people start considering yourself belonging to a group, right? Have an identity of your own, then you will constitute a social group. Technically speaking, members of the group have consciousness of kind. Consciousness of kind. Members of a group have consciousness of kind. It's not the common interest. It's the common consciousness that we belong to that group or this group. You have a sense of belongingness, right? Sense of belongingness. And when you have a sense of belongingness, then you will have an identity of your own. जैसे कहा ना मेरठ से हूं. What you are doing, in fact, you are considering all people living in Meerut as your fellow. तो यहां भी लड़ाई हो गया, अरे मेरठ वाले से लड़ोगे, लखनऊ वाले मेरठ वाले से क्या लड़ेंगे, हम लोग जाट हैं. नहीं नहीं, एक बात कह रहा हूं, उसको लिटरली लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट ये होता तो है ना. जब आप एंग्री होते हो एक दूसरे के अगेंस्ट में, तो क्या करते हो, आप उसकी आइडेंटिटी को भी जो है अक्यूज करते हो, राइट?
So you said that sense of belonging, that when I feel like that I belong to that group, I'm a part of that social group. But if that social group doesn't accept me, so am I the part?
जस्ट अ सेकेंड. ये आशुतोष, ये नेटवर्क क्या स्लो चल रहा है क्या जी? नेटवर्क एरर आ रहा है. आ गया? नहीं, नेटवर्क एरर आ रहा है. अभी ठीक हो गया. कुछ पावर का प्रॉब्लम है क्या?
अभी तो बैटरी है इसमें.
अभी है
बैटरी है.
भैया, फैन बंद कर दो उसको. ये पावर, एक्चुअली पावर इज नॉट देयर खुशी इन आवर लोकेलिटी, सो देयर मस्ट बी सम टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम फ्रॉम द इंटरनेट service provider side, and that's why we are facing this difficulty, right? So if you have any question that you have not understood, you can ask here, I will answer that. Right? So consciousness of kind, an identity, when we develop a sense of belongingness, togetherness, right, then we constitute a social group. Then we constitute a social group, right? See, here we need to understand very clearly that this social group also consists of individuals, and psychology studies individuals, right? So how to demarcate when you are acting as an individual or when are you acting as the member of a group? This is a very critical issue. For example, you may say that when I am alone in the room, then I am acting as an individual. But when I am into the class, I am acting as a member of a group, right? The question is, you're talking about a kind of physical separation. You're talking a kind of physical separation, right? So you are member of a family, right? Will you do anything in Delhi while attending these classes, your stay in Delhi, which goes against the norms of your family? Sometimes, but that is also within a range. That is also within a range. If I question a very absurd question, will you rape a girl? You will murder a person. Clearly, being member of the family, you will never do it. हाँ ये है, कभी कभी सिगरेट पी लिया, कभी कभी अल्कोहल ले लिया, कभी कभी मूवी चले गए, वो बात अलग है. That will do. कभी कभी क्लास बंक मार के जो है दोस्तों के साथ घूमने चले गए. So slight deviation is expected because we all are human beings. But you will never do things that is against the norms of your family. Even though your family is in Meerut, around 100 kilometers away from where you are staying at present. Why you do so? Because still you have a strong tie-up with your family. So physical distance, physical separation does not break the consciousness of kind, social ties, right? The ideas, the values that we share with each other. If a person from a small town migrates to a metropolitan center, he does not immediately starts behaving like people who have been living here for generations. तभी 30 साल के बाद भी मैं अपने आप को बिहारी ही कहता हूं. कम से कम 75% तो अभी भी वही मानता हूं. Though I have not stayed in last 30 years for more than 2 years at my native place. More than 84, I came out of Bihar, right? So it's almost 38 years, right? And in these 38 years, I have hardly stayed there for 2 years. So physical separation, physical distance does not end the consciousness of kind, our tie-up. Right? Because we are tied with the ideas. We are tied with ideas. Is it still stuck? But here it is working fine, right? So group is, social group is collection of individuals having consciousness of kind, and this consciousness of kind is nothing but ties of ideas, which is intangible. Right? So as a member of a group, we have a way of behaving. Light agree, huh? And that must not be linked with physical distance, that must not be linked with the physical distance. क्यों?
बच्चा लोग को कह रहा है कि
फिर से करो,
लाइट आ गया है,
करो,
पावर ऑफ ऑन है, ठीक है।
एक बार बोल दो, रुक जाओ. So we are switching off for some period and after that we'll restart. चलो करो, रुक जाओ 2 मिनट, क्योंकि उधर से कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा नेट का, तो वहाँ पे भी. चलो करो. क्या दिखा रहा है?
चल रहा है।
नहीं, नेट का स्पीड देखो. दूसरा खोलो ना. ठीक है, कितना है? 100 है. सब इतना स्पीड बढ़ाते हैं, 5G करते हैं, फिर भी स्टक कर जाता है. चलो स्टार्ट करो.
लाइट आ गया है।
बड़े जल्दी पता चल गया तुमको.
ये नहीं था ना।
हेलो, आ रहा है. Right? So this social group, and social group is not that way clear, but companion word is very much clear. When you are using the word companion, that means you are sharing some consciousness of kind. Right? And that is called as society. And that is called as society. Is it okay for all? Online students, is it okay for all? Which one I should repeat? Okay, it is okay. Yes, class was ended. I had informed also that will end and restart. Okay. Physical distance means consciousness of kind is not dependent on the physical distance between the members of a group. You may stay quite apart, distance from each other, but still you share a consciousness of kind. Got it? अब लिखेगा नहीं, या सुनो. Okay. Right? Now to understand it, we need to, हो गया. We need to also know about a theory that is known as group mind theory. Group mind theory. Group mind theory. Right? This was given by a person called MacDougall. MacDougall, right? And we'll be clearly understanding this when we read Emile Durkheim. When we read Emile Durkheim. For familiarity and preliminary understanding, I'm just giving you an example, right? how many of you have stayed in hostels? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So what happens when holiday begins?
So you said it was going by and see local, and then what was
Imail Darkhim. We'll be studying that.
So Imal Darkhim, what? He was the student of
Thinker, no. He is known as the real father of sociology. He is known as the real father of sociology, right? So what happens when the holiday ends? You go to the college, and when holiday begins, you come back to your home, right? So what happens? Suppose you are living in a hostel. All members we are talking about who are staying in a hostel, and if holiday begins, so mostly they come together to railway station, right? आप देखोगे कि मेरी ट्रेन 2 घंटे बाद भी है, फिर भी मैं चलो साथ में चलता हूँ, 2 घंटे वहीं स्टेशन पर रुक जाऊँगा, ऐसा होता है ना? ठीक है, मे बी आई हैव द लास्ट ट्रेन टू कैच, but I will come with the person who has to catch the first train, right? Generally it happens, right? So we are coming together, and then we catch the trains to our destination. So here we begin as a group, and when you come home, you start from home as an individual, and then reach to the hostel as an individual. आप इस स्टेशन में पहुंचने के बाद वेट नहीं करते हो कि उसकी भी ट्रेन आने दो, वेट करते हो क्या? नहीं ना, जल्दी जल्दी चलो यार, राइट? हैव यू मार्क्ड एनी डिफरेंस बिटवीन योर बिहेवियर when you are leaving the college or school, or when you are coming to the college or school? नहीं ना? Have you marked? No. So I'll give my own example to understand it. I used to also study in Lucknow, right? I've studied there for 3 years, Lucknow Christian Inter College, right? So I had to catch a train that was known as Vaisali Express. Even today that train runs, right? So train was at around 3 p.m. and 1 or 3 p.m. and by 10:30, 11 we were reaching to Lucknow. So definitely गरीब भी थे हम लोग, ठीक है? तो रिजर्वेशन का जो भी पैसा बच जाए, 2 घंटे के लिए रिजर्वेशन क्यों कराना, ठीक है? वो एक टेंडेंसी थी. 30 रुपये का टिकट था तो कंसेशन फॉर्म लेके आना. आजकल की तरह हवाई जहाज़ वाला अफोर्डेबिलिटी नहीं था, ठीक है? एसी में घुसने से डर लगता था, ठीक है? एंड द ट्रेन वेयर फुल ऑफ रश, राइट? सो when we were boarding the train as an individual, we were acting like complete gentleman. अंकल थोड़ा बैठ जाऊं यहीं? नहीं, मैंने रिजर्वेशन कराया है. छोड़ दिया, आगे पहुंचा, कोई ना कोई अच्छा जेंटलमैन मिल जाता था. अच्छा बेटा बैठ जाओ, ठीक है? और बड़ा जेंटलमैन की तरह बैठे रहते थे, ठीक है? 8 बजे के बाद टीटी आता था, रिजर्वेशन बॉगी में घुसे कैसे? अरे अंकल आपके बेटे के बराबर हैं, कहाँ आप भेजोगे, अभी 1 घंटे का बात है. करते करते जो है पहुंच जाते थे. जब लौटते थे हम लोग, द सेम ट्रेन वॉज कमिंग एंड वी वेयर मेनी पीपल, सो वी बिलोंग टू द सेम प्लेस, कमिंग टुगेदर, राइट? And the train was at 4:10 a.m. still I remember, right? And by the time it was 5, we were not letting anybody sleep. समय खत्म हो गया, सोने का समय खत्म. 5 बजे तक ही रिजर्वेशन होता है, उसके बाद नहीं होता है. अब 10-15 बच्चों को देखेंगे तो वो लोग भी डर जाते थे, अच्छा बेटा बैठो। There was a marked change in our behavior when I went as an individual and when I came as a member of a group. Right? You have to visualize this. That even if when you go to America, still you share interest, consciousness of kind with India and Indianness. Right? Until you share, even if you are alone at your apartment and you are a Hindu, perhaps you will never eat beef. थोड़ी बहुत बदमाशी कर लेते हो, बात अलग है. But there are stricter norms of the society and there are lighter norms of the society. So lighter norms we violate, but stricter norms we don't violate, because still we belong to that group. Right? So as a member of a group, even if we are physically isolated, we have that consciousness of kind and we act as per the group mind, the norms and values of the society. Are you getting the difference between society and individual? Right? So this group mind, how it acts, how we behave as the member of a group, not as an individual, that is being studied in sociology. It's true that our personality owes to the society or group to which belong. And our society gets from us as an individual, that we will see self and society later on. But when we are studying sociology, we are studying our behavior, human behavior as member of a group. Is that clear? Right? So that is to be studied in sociology. So study of society. Now the question is, prior to 1838 or 1822, was society studied or not? Did we study society before 1822 or not, or somebody else? Was it studied or not? What is history? Isn't it a study of society? What is polity? Society. Right? But we were studying in polity only one dimension of society. In economics, only one dimension of society. Right? Means even before society was studied, but that is not called sociology. So what is that we call it as sociology? Right? This is what you have given the second definition: scientific study of society. Scientific study of society. Very good. Anjali said scientific study of society. Right? जो आंसर देगा वही फंसेगा. What is science? और लोग भी बोलो, सबको इन्वॉल्व करते हैं. हाँ.
Study of some phenomena processed by logically or
Logically. So philosophy is logical or not? Philosophy is logical or not? Religion is logical or not? Religion is not logical. So we all are illogical persons. बंद से बंद कमरे में 50 लॉक लगा के बैठो फिर भी भगवान से डर लगता है. नहीं, अगर उसका डर नहीं हो तो दुनिया नहीं रहेगी. So it is illogic that is keeping the world alive. Are you saying that? Religion is not logical. Philosophy is? I speak loudly, may be wrong, no problem.
I think philosophy is kind of some.
No, philosophy is logical or not? Philosophy is logical or not? So all philosophers are illogical.
maybe it is logical.
Maybe. Things which we can see or experience. I am coming, Mayank, don't worry. I will see what you are experiencing. Philosophy is logical or not?
Philosophy is logical. It is basically expressed in some exaggerated manner, which are not logical.
Exaggerated
the
manner.
Main concept or the main point.
So, if you drop an object from a height, it falls on the earth with 9.81 meter per second square. Is it exaggerated or real?
It is real. It is real.
It is real? No.
It's an average value.
There is a presumption. If there is vacuum, so even this 9.81 meter per second square is based on certain assumption, whereas you can never create vacuum around the earth. So without logical exaggeration, you will never be able to anatomically analyze the reality. जैसे हमने कहा ना कि अगर लॉजिकली एग्जैगरेट नहीं करें तो वी एज मेंबर ऑफ अ सोसाइटी एंड वी एज एन इंडिविजुअल विल नेवर बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि कभी भी हम अकेले नहीं होते और कभी भी हम हमेशा ग्रुप के साथ नहीं होते. होते हैं क्या? अभी यहां हो, आर यू सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम योर फैमिली? नो, right? And if you are in your family, don't you have individuality? So we do logically exaggerate. Exaggeration is there, but that exaggeration is logical exaggeration. So when you are saying logically exaggerate, that means philosophy is not illogical. And logic is not science. Science may be logical, but logic is not science. What is logical is not scientific. What is scientific is always logical. So this definition gone. राइट, एनीथिंग एल्स? अच्छा, पहली बार साइंस वर्ड कब सुना था?
एक्सपेरिमेंटल
एक्सपेरिमेंट?
Study of something in patterns.
सबसे पहले साइंस वर्ड कब सुना था? छोटे थे तो क्या समझते थे उसे, साइंस का मतलब उस समय? कुछ याद है? डू यू रिमेंबर एनीथिंग? Today, if someone is studying in nursery class 1, if you utter the word science, you will bring a book. That book would be of EVS, environmental science. Right? So first you thought it is a book, then you thought it is a discipline, EVS क्या है? एनवायरमेंट के बारे में स्टडी, मीन्स यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ स्टडी ऑफ ए सब्जेक्ट मैटर, सो यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट डिसिप्लिन. फिर कब सुना था साइंस वर्ड, कब डिफाइन किया था? व्हेन डिड यू डिफाइन द वर्ड साइंस? याद करो. 6th में. क्या पढ़े थे उस समय? व्हाट इज साइंस? 6th में? 6th में फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री नहीं था.
नहीं सर, आईसीएसई बोर्ड में सेपरेशन हो जाता है.
अच्छा, हो जाता है आईसीएसई बोर्ड में. तो 5वीं में क्या पढ़ा था साइंस के बारे में?
सर वो फिर जनरल टेक्स्ट बुक होता है, उसमें सब
उसमें क्या लिखा हुआ था? कहीं पे फॉर्मली डेफिनेशन लिखा हुआ था व्हाट इज साइंस? याद करो, लिखा हुआ था इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. सिस्टमेटिक स्टडी ऑफ सब्जेक्ट मैटर, ऑफ अ सब्जेक्ट मैटर. सिस्टमेटिक. अभी जाके बुक खोलना, जाके परचेज करो, कुछ पैसा खर्चा करो, ठीक है, और वहाँ देखो ये लिखा होगा. मैंने तो पढ़ा था 6th क्लास 7th क्लास में. Systematic study of subject matter. You know what is the meaning of systematic? What do you mean by systematic? In an order. Ramayana and Mahabharata is systematic or not? Systematic? So Ramayana and Mahabharata is science. It's. I'm not getting. No, it is an epic. No problem. Epic is a book itself, right? Something that is a written document. When large written documents are there of colossal size, then it is called as epic, right? Mind it, if you don't put anything systematic, you can even not communicate with any other person. If I have to say, Survi, come tomorrow, I'll say, Survi, you have to come tomorrow. I will not say, you come to Survi tomorrow. Right? You said organized. Systematic means organized. What is the meaning of organized? ऐसे ही पढ़ना पड़ेगा, तभी फंडामेंटल्स क्लियर होंगे, और जब फंडामेंटल्स नहीं क्लियर होंगे तो सिविल सर्विसेज क्वालिफाई करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. टू एक्सेल इन एनी एग्जाम इट विल बिकम डिफिकल्ट. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय ऑर्गेनाइज्ड? एल्गोरिथम. प्री-डिटरमिन्ड सीक्वेंस. जिसको हम लोग ग्रामर कहते हैं. That is what we say grammar. There is a boy. Immediately you understood? There boy is. थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा समझने में, बहुत लोग समझ ही नहीं पाएंगे. So data that is not systematically arranged never constitute information. These are data. Is there, boy is data, right? If they are not organized in a predetermined pattern that you set, subject should be first, right? After that, pronoun should be there, then verb should be there, then object should be there. So grammar is what? How to arrange the things. It's a predetermined way.
Like a rule.
It's like a rule. You have created it, right? And anything that is unsystematically prepared, unsystematically arranged, it will never convey any message to anybody. So if Bible is conveying message, if Quran is conveying message, if Gita is conveying message, that means they are systematically arranged. They are systematically arranged. So nothing is unsystematic. And everything that is systematic is not science. Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bible, Quran, dramas, Shakespeare. Is Shakespeare drama science? Is it systematic? Right? But what happened? Why were we taught this meaning of systematic? Science. Because our mental status was able to understand only that much. अब क्लास 1 के बच्चे को बायोलॉजी पढ़ाते समय एनाटॉमिकल स्टडी कहा जाए, भाग जाएगा कि नहीं क्लास से? बोले पता नहीं क्या कह रहा है, तो उसको तो उसी ढंग से पढ़ाना पड़ेगा ना जो वो समझ सकता है. सो your mental faculty were developed just enough to understand that definition only, and that's why you were taught like that. So see, science was first book, then it was a discipline, then third it is systematic, but that is also not proper, right? So next was most of us are students of science, physics, computer science, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग. तुम्हारा कौन सा है? मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग. ठीक है. तो यहां पे साइंस का मतलब क्या? जब मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग करने गए थे तो साइंस का मतलब क्या समझते थे? वही जो तुमने बोला, एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन, राइट? सो वी सेड observation, experimentation and verification. This is called method of study. A specific method of study is called as science. A specific method of study is called as science. right? Since you all were student of what we know as natural science, to say physics, chemistry, biology, even astronomy, right? So what we said, observe. What is the meaning of observation? What kind of observation? What is the distinction between observation and intuition? इंट्यूशन समझते हो ना, हिंदी में उसको अंतर्ज्ञान कहते हैं। 100 डेज मूवी देखी थी माधुरी दीक्षित की? नहीं, उसको पहले ही पता चल जाता है कि कल क्या होने वाला है। इसको इंट्यूशन कहते हैं।
Intuition comes from inside and observation is something you notice outside.
How do you notice that? That's what I'm asking. How do you notice that? Sight. Only sight?
By any external means.
Any external? What are those external means? Smell, feeling. क्या कहते हैं इसको? Senses. So this observation means sensory experience. अभी हम बड़ा एक इंटरेस्टिंग क्लाइमेक्स पे पहुंचने वाले हैं, ठीक है? बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सेंसरी एक्सपीरियंस, एंड व्हाट वी एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू आवर सेंसेस इज नोन एज एम्पेरिकल रियलिटी. एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन और वेरिफिकेशन तो भी बाद में आएगा, ठीक है? पहले ऑब्जर्वेशन. ऑब्जर्वेशन मीन्स सेंसरी ऑब्जर्वेशन, राइट? सो व्हाट यू एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू योर सेंसेस इज रियलिटी और नॉट? जो आप देख रहे हो वो सही है या गलत है? मैं अभी पढ़ा रहा हूं, सही है या गलत है? सही है? एनी डाउट? नहीं. इस बोर्ड का कलर बताओ. पक्का? पक्का? 100% श्योर? Are you 100% sure this color is white? इसको मार्स पे ले जाओ, बोर्ड को, मंगल ग्रह पे, क्या दिखेगा? उजला दिखेगा? छोड़ो, मार्स पे मत ले जाओ, यहीं अर्थ पे ही रहो, ठीक है? इस लाइट को जो है रेड कर दो, मेक इट रेड, ब्लू, तो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड कर दिए फर्दर. अब स्पेक्ट्रम बताना पड़ेगा क्या होगा. Scattering of the light rays, right? Vibgyor, right? When it passes through a prism, the speed in the prism is different and the angle of refraction is different. So the white light gets scattered into its fundamental component, and therefore when the light emerges, it creates a band of 7 colors. Vibgyor. नहीं, रेड लाइट कर देंगे तो क्या दिखेगा? ब्लू लाइट तो मान लीजिए कभी इस कमरे में नहीं आए थे, पहली बार आए इस कमरे में, और रेड लाइट मैंने जला रखा है, सिर्फ पूछा होता व्हाट इज द कलर ऑफ दिस बोर्ड, व्हाट वुड हैव यू आंसर्ड? सो व्हाट इज द कलर ऑफ द बोर्ड, व्हाइट और रेड? What is the color of this board? बहुत simple question है.
White, but it's different on the color of light.
Light.
The color varies.
So it doesn't have any color,
Yes.
right? It doesn't have any color. Whatever color we see, that we view on the basis of the medium. तो इसका कोई कलर नहीं है ना, तो white क्यों बोला था?
Because light color is white.
क्यों बोला था white? तुम ही बोले थे? नहीं, बोला ही नहीं था. सबसे अच्छा है बोलो ही मत. Sir, he will not ask a question. Right? Are you getting confused a bit? Doubt is generating in your mind? कि whatever I am witnessing through our senses, even whether that is reality or not. झाबुआ डिस्ट्रिक्ट जानते हो? झाबुआ डिस्ट्रिक्ट सुना है कभी नाम? झाबुआ मध्य प्रदेश में एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है झाबुआ, जहाँ पे ट्राइब्स रहते हैं. ठीक है? Those tribes on certain festive occasion, they walk on fire. Right? And they are not wounded. Will you walk on fire? तो आग जलाती है, कैसे कहते हो? अभी मैं फेसबुक का एक पोस्ट देख रहा था, उसमें बड़ा सा एक कड़ाह जो है वो चढ़ा हुआ था. सब लोग हिंदी जानते हैं ना? You don't know Hindi, you should have told me, right? So there was a big, what is that called? Kadai ko Hindi, what do you say? And oil was there, it was boiling, right? And he was frying pakoras. Pakoda, you know?
Yes.
Right, okay. So, and he was picking up the pakoda like this. Will you do that? So, boiling oil burns your skin. Right or wrong? No, right or wrong?
Yes, right.
Right? But his skin was not getting burnt.
That is because of maybe being used to that thing.
So, you also become used to that? Will you try?
For the first time,
So, will you try that? There was a person in Russia who used to touch live wire of alternating current running 440 volt, and he was not having any effect of that. There are saints in India. कहते हैं ना, India is a country of mysteries, right? Who go stay in Himalayas. And in one of the Facebook posts I was seeing, and that was real. Sword was taken by an army person, right? That he has some utensil in his hand, and he was breaking this ice, right? He broke the ice, and inside water was there. He took out the water, and he was bathing. Har Har Gange, Jai Shiv, Jai Shiv, Jai Shiv. नहाओगे -70 °C टेम्परेचर वाले पानी में? For one it is cold, for another it is not cold. I have not said anything else, but simply it is not necessary that what we experience through our senses is essentially the reality and meaningful. Right? So we are having a doubt. Earlier, when you came into this class, before that, perhaps there was no doubt in your mind about the color of this board. Why? Because you had limited knowledge. In these 2 hours of lecture, your knowledge increased, and you started doubting yourself. So knowledge clarifies or creates doubt? That's why there is a very popular statement. It is irony of the world that idiots are very much confident and intellectuals are skeptic, confused. हमसे पूछो दुनिया जानते हो, बोलेंगे हाँ जानते हैं. आइंस्टीन से जाके पूछोगे, बोलेगा बहुत कम. नहीं. If you had have gone to Einstein and asked, what do you know about this world? He must have said very, very small. और गांव में चले जाओ किसी विलेज में. You go to a village, ask a person, and he's so confident. He says, what I am saying is the truth. Right? So this sensory observation is reality. Because what is the purpose of science? To know the reality. Why the hell we adopt that scientific approach or method? What for? To know the reality. To know the reality. But here, and we say that we can access the reality through our sensory experience. We can access the reality through our sensory experience. But problem is that we cannot identify even the color of this board. We have failed in such a simple observation. Now imagine the mystery of the world we have been moving to discover. Right? So here you come into a situation of catch-22 situation. Right? There is an objective reality, absolute reality, truth. Right? Objective reality, that is called. And second, you said, perhaps there is no color of this board. Right? So there is no reality. Yes, reality, no reality. There is a color of this board. How many of you say yes? No one. And how many of you say there is no color of this board? No one. So now you all have doubt of your own knowledge.
For sure, there is a color of this board, but we are not sure what is that color.
What is that color? Right? So what we are experiencing is white. It is mediated, but it is not the true color of this board. So can you imagine there must be a color of this board? Imagine तो कर सकते हैं. जैसे आपने कहा कि कोई कलर नहीं है, वैसे आप ये भी imagine कर सकते हो कि there must be a color of this board. X, Y, Z, anything. X, Y, Z, any color. Right? So when you are pushed to the wall, and you really don't know whether I have to go left or right, then you toss the coin. If it comes tail, you go left. If it comes head, you go right. Right? So that head and tail is what? Assumption. Assumption. Every scientific inquiry begins with assumptions you had read in 8th class.
Hypothesis.
नहीं, hypothesis तो बात की बात. You had read this in 8th class. ध्यान नहीं दिया, एक लाइन दिया हुआ था. We presume this is the color of the board, right? Then we stop thinking what exactly is the color of this board. This is called bracketing your knowledge. And then you start building your knowledge on this assumption that the color of the board is white and color of this ink is black. Right? So here you will find there are two confusion that you are having. You are not sure whether there exists an objective reality or not. And second, it does not. It exists, it does not exist. Right? The first is it does not exist. Second is it exists, but we would never know that. But there is another very optimistic view which says there must be a color of this board and one day we will know it. Right now we are limited by technology, our own understanding of reality, so we don't know. But one day we will know. That is called pristine observation possible. Pristine or pristine observation possible. Without mediation of this light, one day we will know the color of this board. Direct contact between God and human being. Direct contact between reality and our mind. Right? This is assumption. Pristine observation is possible, and then other is pristine observation is not possible. Right? So, presuming this limitation of sensory observation, science is empirical understanding of reality, sensory understanding of reality, but at the same time we must be aware of the limitation of our senses. The examples that I gave you, I gave it just to create doubt in your mind, to show you the evidence that what you experience through your senses need not necessarily be the true reality. I am not denying it to be reality, but not necessarily to be reality. Right? So this is observation, then experimentation means exposing an object to a variable and seeing its impact. Experiment means what? Exposing the object to a variable. ठीक है, जैसे आप बटर को रख देते हो, ऊपर से सनलाइट आता है, देखते हो गलता है कि नहीं गलता है. So butter is the object, sunlight is the variable, heat, and whether heat melts the butter or not. So this is called experimentation. Exposing an object to certain variable and see its impact. And expose it again and again with the same variable and see the result. And if the similar result is coming, your hypothesis stands verified. Your hypothesis stands verified. ऑब्जर्वेशन मीन्स किसी भी चीज को माइन्यूटली समझना. भैया इस कलर ऑफ बोर्ड में क्या माइन्यूटली समझोगे, क्या नहीं समझोगे. प्रत्युष सुनीत, this was a very simple question. What is the color of this board? And how minutely you are going to see it through lenses, microscope, Are you getting it? Are you confused now? I want you to confuse. Because when you are in problem and you know the way to come out of the problem, you are successful. Till you don't face the problem, you can never achieve success. Thank you for today. अभी साइंस में बहुत बाकी है, राइट? ये जितना आसान आप समझ रहे थे, व्हाट इज साइंस, साइंटिफिक स्टडी ऑफ सोसाइटी, it's not that easy. Tomorrow we'll be continuing from here onwards. Thank you. कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है आज, जो लिटरली बुक बताया है, the books that I have said, just give the reading, that's all.